Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sasuke Nerds podcast, where we talk all things Sasuke and Ninja Warrior. My name is Kane, and today I'm joined by my co-hosts Billy and Evan, and a very special guest who has achieved total victory in season 15 of American Ninja Warrior and gone on to make stage 3 in 3 consecutive tournaments of Sasuke, including the most recent, where he was the final runner of the world round. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Daniel Gill, the Kingdom Ninja. Daniel, welcome to the pod.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me. Excited to be with you all today.
Absolutely. Dude, this is nuts.
This is crazy.
So for those who don't know, like we pretty much all met you at Worlds, like at different worlds, more or less. Like we kind of filtered ourselves in like that. And we got this really cool picture. I think I want to use that as a thumbnail. With Strat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also has our buddy Callum as well.
Yeah,
the whole squad.
It was a really good experience. He's Daniel's out and about, man. He gets around to quite a lot of ninja events in his time, and I don't see that slowing down. Will it?
No, not anytime in the near future, at least. But we'll see how the seasons of life continue to change.
I have to say a little Worlds bit, okay? For one, my wife loves you, okay? She just thinks that you and Jesse are like the coolest ninjas to ever touch the show. I was like, hey, like I've been on the show too once. And they're like, but I remember at Worlds I asked like, oh, can I buy a shirt for my wife? One of your Kingdom Ninja shirts. And you said, yeah, like, can I sign it for her? And you did. And now she's looking for a frame to get it put up. Like, we're going to have it up there, man. Like, Sasha, I'm sorry I exposed you, but it had to be done.
Yep. I also have a good Daniel Gill story as well. It was Worlds 2025. It was the opening ceremony, and this was the first time Billy met Daniel. And we all walked up, we said hello, and he's like, are you guys the Sasuke nerds? And I was like, whoa, my mind was like blown. It was absolutely amazing. Like you're awesome, Daniel. Like, we're very happy to have you today.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Evan, and Billy as well. Like I try to stay. I mean, there's so many, not offshoots, but just so many peripheral things happening in the world of ninja. I try to stay relevant. I try to stay current on all the things that are happening, whether it's new or upcoming leagues or changes to pre-existing leagues and just modifications and things like that. Like, there's a lot happening, even especially then you get into all the different gyms popping up, over 300 across the US alone right now. So there's a lot. And meeting you guys, I was like, I know these guys. I know the Sasuke nerds. And now here we are, full circle. I get to join you guys on your podcast. And yeah, I'm ready to dive in whenever you are.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm very happy that, so for reference, guys, in terms of kind of breaking the fourth wall here, this is our third recording of an episode of the podcast. Our first episode was talking about Sasuke 43 in general. And then yesterday, at the time of recording this, we interviewed Josh Levin, and now we're here interviewing Daniel Gill. So 66% of our podcasts have had A&W finalists and stage 3 competitors in Sasuke. I don't know if many others can say that.
It's just a subtle flex. Not so subtle flex, but no. Since we're all just hyping Daniel up right now, I mean, I just have to say, like, I know for a fact that like 3 years ago, 2023, yeah, I was still in that super fan phase. I was training and I was doing what I could and learning what I could. But I was still very wide-eyed, and I came in with, I think, a lot of energy for a lot of, especially like A&W competitors, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I never thought I'd be there. It was really cool. But I think it hit a new high in May of 2025, last year, because Daniel baptized me. And that was, him and Mike Cook over at UBW, which unfortunately is shut down now. Very sad about that. But yeah, that was one of those moments where, I mean, number one, it was a very spiritual moment for me. And I felt very compelled and called, like it was the right time for me as a person. And then I'll watch it back and I'm like, Dang, I actually got baptized by Daniel Gill of all people. Like that would have been like I always thought like my uncle's a pastor. He's the pastor back at my church back home, and I thought like I figured it would probably be him. So for it to be like under, I think it was like the floating boards or something, and like in a ninja pool with Mike Cook on one side and then Daniel Gill on the other. I was like, yo, it's crazy how life works, and it's just absolutely wild, and it's one of my favorite memories for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Just seeing the different worlds collide
Mhm.
in and through Ninja, which is one all about overcoming obstacles, right? But I don't think we give enough credit necessarily to the fact that just all the areas of life that mentality and lifestyle applies. Like you've got in terms of obstacles, you've got the physical, you've got the emotional, you've got the mental obstacles, and then as a Christian, it's like you got the spiritual obstacles as well. So to have moments and memories like that with you and many others, Kane, just to like you said, the timing lining up and just being willing and saying yes and stepping out in faith, like it's really cool. Like the ninja community to me is so much more than just a sport. I mean, I've forged friendships and relationships that have already lasted me, my entirety of my ninja career over, gosh, coming up on like 14 or so years now, just in the ninja community. But I'm excited for what's ahead. I think the sport is going to continue to grow, and that the platforms that we've, gotten through the television show itself is just awesome, just to be able to be a voice, to be able to be speak a word of encouragement to people that they can overcome life's obstacles is awesome, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Well
Me either,
said.
man. Well, before we get into the future, we're just gonna ask a couple of fun little questions for you. This is a would you rather segment. So we've each prepared a would you rather question for you. I think Billy's going first.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed so. Right. So, to start things out, Mr. Gill out here. So, to start things out on this Would You Rather segment, Daniel, would you rather reset all of your ninja skills that you've ever learned and be forced to retrain everything from scratch, or become a top level athlete in a completely different sport that you've never done before, but the catch is that you can never do ninja again?
Oh my god, what a terrible question. Oh my god.
I apologize deeply.
Billy.
Oh man. Okay. Gosh, probably. I mean, there's pros and cons to each side of that. Really, where I am now in life, man, what other sports would nothing compares to ninja. I'd probably just reset. I would reset and have to learn ninja all over again, which in the world we live in right now, there's so much good beta. There's so many great coaches. I mean, when I was learning all the techniques that I currently know, we were making it up. Like we didn't know how to do. I remember when we were linking laches for the first time, like it was mind blowing. And now we got like brachiation, just like a single arm swing. It's wild. So I would probably just reset and learn everything again a lot faster this second time.
There we go. I think that's probably the right way to go, especially
Yeah.
because, like, over the longevity of your ninja career, I would happily assume that it would be filled with many, many great memories from beginning to the present day. A lot of that being due to just the training sessions that you can have with your training partners and your friends who also do the sport. So I think overall, that is the best way to go. And because it's basically like reliving all your memories again and just getting better and feeling the goodness inside you when you complete something and progress throughout the years.
Yeah,
I
there's
completely
just no
agree with
sport.
Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just gonna say there's no sport as fun as ninja. I mean, for me, like, yeah, I'm an athlete. Like other sports are great, and I'm a multi-sport athlete as well. I play a bunch of different things. But with ninja, like you could do it for hours and just never get bored. You can get bloody and ripped for sure, but it's just the most entertaining and most versatile sport. I mean, upper body, lower body, balance, agility, power, speed, endurance. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So you could spend a lifetime and still have areas that you need to improve on when it comes to the sport of ninja.
And there's also like new different tech to learn, new different skills to learn as well. And like if you how rewarding is it to just have that one move like that you've been training for so long and then you finally get it? It is so satisfying.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And especially like with the sport of ninja, there's always new obstacles and new tech coming out. So like there's always more. And the sport, like I said, is continuing to grow. And I think that with all the different leagues, the different options, different competitions, like gosh, I don't see any even slowing down of the current output of ninja
No.
opportunities. So I'm here for it. I'm excited about it, and we'll continue with it as long as I possibly can.
I think the funny thing about having to relearn everything would be that someone that you coached would probably be coaching you.
It'd probably
And
be a
that's
14-year-old.
that's very likely, actually. Yeah, very realistic in this time. Your next would you rather comes from me. It's I love stage 3. I'm a big endurance guy, so here's a good one for you. Would you rather never need to chalk or never get pumped?
Never get pumped. That's easy. By the grace of God or genetics that I have, I rarely ever use chalk anyways.
Mm.
My hands don't typically sweat. I've used it on stage 3, the only place in American Ninja Warrior where they allow chalk. And I use it there just because it's available. But on all the other competitions, I've never ever had an issue with that. So, dude, give me the unlimited forearm burnout because my hands aren't going to be sweaty.
I am actually, I think, going to go with the chalk. Like my hands get so sweaty. I mean, I live in humid, hot, muggy places. They're not, my hands have never truly been dry and clear on that part. So I think that's more of a convenience for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I like feeling pumped at the end of a workout. Like it feels rewarding in a way. I don't know. That's just me. But pump in the middle of an actual course run in a competition, that's not great.
There's no worse feeling than that unbearable pump at the end of stage 3.
Oh.
Gosh, what was it,
Oh,
season
no.
16 where I pumped out on the road signs of the very last obstacle of stage 3, and I remember just thinking like I can hardly open and close my hands, and I've got 2 more boards that I have to traverse. And I knew I was going down. It was just a matter of time. I was like, this isn't even a question of if I can finish this course. I know that I can. I'm still going to give it everything. And maybe by some miracle, I will continue. But I knew it before I even got there. And there's just nothing you can really do about it when you overgrip for too long. And then you know that you're on a very, very short time limit. It's one of the worst feelings in the world.
I actually agree with
Valid.
Daniel. I would also not rather be pumped out. Like Kane, I also get very sweaty hands, even though I live in Michigan, which is not exactly known for warm weather. But my biggest issue in anything athletic has always been stamina. But to like not feel tired is like would be such an amazing feeling, and it could be the difference between clearing an obstacle or failing it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I suppose as well, to add on to that, is to, I think probably logistically, if you never get pumped again, you'd probably never need chalk again, because one of the main functions of chalk is to prevent slipping when you're tired, essentially, on like any different hold. So if you always have that maximum amount of power in your arms or any other part of your body where you might feel pumped on a ninja course, then particularly your hands, I don't think chalk would be that much of a help, especially on somewhere like stage 3, because even though like the overall ledges on like a cliffhanger per se, they can be very, very thin. Overall, I think if you have the necessary grip strength, along with the fact that you'll never feel pumped again, I think that could be quite beneficial to just overall grip training as well.
Mm.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm there.
I don't know.
I'm with you on it. But it's funny if you wanted to add a third question, it would be like, of the two, I was like never get pumped or have unlimited chalk. A third one might be like never get nervous, because honestly, most of the times that our hands
Oh.
get sweaty is because we get nervous. Like the lights, the cameras, the audience. It's like, okay, it's showtime. Like I'm excited, but oh man, my hands are getting so sweaty because it's just my heart's beating out of my chest. Like, what if you had a third option of like if you never got nervous on a course?
I'm
I-
absolutely picking that. Honestly,
I-
I'm with
honest
Billy.
no.
I'm with Billy.
I'm gonna actually side the opposite of that, because I don't know. I tend to do better when I'm nervous, because I think I strategize a lot more, and it helps me not take things for granted. You know, I feel like when I'm calm and I'm confident about stuff, I typically don't give the obstacles the respect they deserve, and I mess up on like something really careless. That's definitely the track record that I have. So I would much rather keep the nerves, because it helps me like really dial in and not take obstacles for granted.
Ah, that's awesome. It's wild to hear people's preferences and even just like mindsets. For me, I'm kind of the opposite. Like when I get nervous, it almost sends me into a panic. And there've been a few times on or in ninja competitions where I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. This is not good. And having a background in like theater and performing, I, 15 years ago or so, I got used to performing with lights, cameras, audience, and all that, and not being nervous as long as I'm prepared enough and confident in what I've trained. But on those moments that the nerves start to kick in, that's when there's that fine line between like what you were saying, kind of like that hyper focus. And then what happens to me is if I start to get nervous, then it dips into like that panic kind of fear mode, and it's like, okay, I can't really think straight because I'm nervous. My hands are sweaty. My legs are shaking. They feel like jello, but also like they're full of lead. Like they're hard to move, and it's wild. Like the times that I have experienced that panic, which is I guess further like very high anxiety and nervousness. That's what would kill me in competition environments. So that's thankfully I don't really suffer with that problem in ninja. I mean, I feel like the more training you put into it, you step into a level of confidence and preparedness. It's like, okay, I know those obstacles. I know those types of movements and techniques. I don't have to be as nervous. And then like you said, with the visualization and finding that fine line of like, okay, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I'm calm, cool, collected, and hyper focused. That's it. But man, a lot of people nerves, like it shuts them down. And if you can learn to overcome that can be more beneficial than shock. That can even be more beneficial than not getting pumped out as easily. Because if you can stay the course when it comes to focus, man, it's a game changer. Makes the difference between buzzer and water, and a lot of times.
Yeah. Obviously, like especially on a ninja show like Sasuke or A&W, like the nerves are going to be amplified. Like I know, Kane, you've told me when you went on A&W that you got so nervous before
I had
running.
never been more nervous. Yeah.
Exactly. So that will actually lead us into our final would you rather question, which is from me. And I think this is by far the hardest one. And it's if they were filmed at the same time and you had to pick Sasuke or A&W, which one are you going to?
What?
Which one are you going to? If they were filming at the same time.
Oh my gosh. If they were filming at the same time. Oh, that's so difficult, Evan. That's so difficult. Like, cause I love Japan. I love everything about Japan. The food, the people, the culture, even the courses and ninja, of course, it's the birthplace of ninja. I love that. And I would very easily quickly pick that. But then when it comes to my brand and platform and career and future, I'm like, okay, well, American Ninja Warrior is where I got that. So I didn't get that from Sasuke, though honor where honor's due. I'm thinking, okay, what brought me to where I am? What even allowed me to get on Sasuke in the first place? It was competing and being the fourth in U.S. history to beat stage 4 in Mount Midoriyama. I would probably wrestle with that for a long time before coming to an answer. But my knee-jerk reaction would likely be American Ninja Warrior. only because that's the foundation of my ninja career, my ninja life. But in terms of just like fun and excitement and adventure and vacation and just Japan, Sasuke wins. Sasuke wins that every round. If you're talking, okay, would I rather go to Vegas or Tokyo? Tokyo every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my answer. I'd probably do American Ninja Warrior instead of Sasuke. Now, hopefully, I would never ever have to pick between the two of them. That's a terrible question. That's a very difficult one.
Dang, I'm sorry.
But I love both. And in terms of even just like the I guess the networks and the production side of it, like, man, not to downplay American Ninja Warrior, right? There's pros and cons. They're filming a reality television show, so it's hit or miss. Like, you can have your good days or bad days, or have good interactions with cast and bad ones. But in Japan, and maybe it's just because I'm a foreigner, they treat you so well, like so well. I mean, again, just Japanese culture. They're so accommodating, so courteous, so kind. I mean, I've never had any bad experience or even really difficult experiences when in Japan. So the experience there, amazing. But in terms of trying to like build my future and my platform and my growth here in the US, like, American Ninja Warrior is what has launched me into that. So I can't miss up an opportunity to do that again.
That's
Very
very fair.
understandable. Like, I completely respect the decision. But when you were talking about like experiences in Japan, is there one that like really stood out to you?
Man, gosh, there's a lot that come to mind. I think one of the most endearing experiences I have had when competing in Japan is, I think it was my first year in 2023, repping the shirt right now, when I got invited for Sasuke 41. I showed up and it was awesome. Like I said, they went out of their way to make me feel welcomed, accommodated, had a translator with me at all times, because again, English is not their first language there. And when I showed up, everybody on set, all the athletes, all the spectators, they were like, Daniel Gilson, and it was so special. And the translator, shout out to Makiko-san, she was like, Daniel, I want to give you this comparison. In America, you are known here in Japan as the American athlete. They call you like Sasuke-kun, just like Morimoto is Sasuke-kun here in Japan. You are like the Sasuke-kun of America. We love you. We love watching you.
Wow.
And a lot of the Japanese people, even though this is your first season competing, they know you and they support you, and they're so happy that you're here, and you're such an outstanding foreigner. Like, you don't look Japanese at all. You stick out in a crowd, and so everybody here recognizes you and they love you. So you're like the American Ninja Sasuke-kun. And it, like, I kind of knew what that meant, because any sort of comparison to Morimoto-san is, I mean, like, he's the GOAT when it comes to Sasuke Ninja. To win it as many times and to have as much success as he has had, it was just, I mean, it was such an honor to have them treat me that way. And I'm doing my best to try to live up to the hype and the expectation. But man, those courses are insane, even compared to American Ninja Warrior, in terms of the fact that they've got the mechanical obstacles, the perpetually moving obstacles on stage 1, 2, and 3. And we don't have anything like that in America. So you see, I think on this most recent Sasuke 43 was like, I think like a 90% fail rate on just the first stinking obstacle.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
Sasuke has my utmost respect in terms of its level of difficulty.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a huge comparison. That is so flattering. That is truly amazing. That was Would You Rather. We're going to kind of jump into the more open discussion, as we've kind of already been doing that, but piggybacking off of Evan's question about Sasuke or A&W and everything. You make a great point, of course, about your history with A&W versus the history of Sasuke and having to choose between those two. A&W has added a new chapter in its history book. They've pivoted to racing. You have now done that twice. Season 18 hasn't aired yet, but you were there. Um, does that at all affect any decisions, like the stages and the races, or how are you feeling about these changes?
A lot of feelings over the last couple of years. I love to go quickly. I've always been known as a speed athlete on American Ninja Warrior. And even still to this day, I move as quickly and efficiently as I am capable of. It, I will say that I prefer stages. I mean, if I'm just giving a black and white answer, like I love the you versus the course mentality. Like I love that. Like you're either strong enough and capable enough, or you're not. Now, I do think as like a spectator, it's really exciting to watch these races, especially when it's like the highest end athletes. That it's not like, oh, you've got like this veteran all star against this rookie who's never competed before and is still trying to just find their way and make a name for themselves. And it can be difficult with the new format in the finals of American Ninja Warrior. So I see that. I see that it's exciting to watch the highest level athletes running full tilt, but I also find it very frustrating how easy and how much more often you see mistakes happen in that type of setting. I think the show is still trying to dial in the perfect types of obstacles, or maybe just the perfect obstacles themselves to have in a racing format where they're simpler obstacles, but if you have good technique and have great cardio and stamina, you can win those courses. Whereas I think the last couple of years, and not just because it's happened to be on those courses, but many others, where you've got very technical obstacles that people are racing through, and even the top athletes are just making mistakes because that is the level of margin that you have with that type of obstacle. And so I think if the show makes those types of changes with their course designers to say, okay, we don't necessarily need crazy technical obstacles, maybe some more pumpy ones, maybe just some bigger or more nerve wracking ones, get some like double dippers in there, then you could see athletes going multiple races in a night at their top level and not getting a little bit slower or getting like having issues and mistakes. So it's frustrating to see or maybe just some of my experiences have been frustrating with the side by side, but I think there is a place for it. I do think it's exciting to watch, but I will always choose the multi-stage course format over that, just because of I mean the history. That's how it is, and that's how it still is in Japan, which makes it harder to choose American Ninja over Japan if I ever had to. Because of that, I prefer Japanese format over American currently.
That's fair enough, I think. I think going forward with racing is nice to see. I think especially because within the modern pentathlon in the Olympics, the concept of obstacle course racing is obviously growing in its own popularity. And I think it's definitely giving the athletes a bit more room to work with their future endeavors within ninja or within sporting as a whole, and might contribute to them going into the Olympics within the next couple of decades, or no matter what time frame the Olympic events happen. I think overall, though, I mean, Sasuke will always stay true to itself. I never particularly see a reason why the original ninja competition should change, especially if there are so many ways to get into the racing format. But that's definitely not to say races aren't anything to be looked over, because as you say, seeing so many of the top ninjas going head to head on their home turf and going through it and absolutely killing it and being so close to trying to see who will win is such an exhilarating experience. It's that same type of feeling when someone alone on a course might be running low on time, or they're really close to getting through a burnout or a stage 3 and they just barely make it, even though it looks like they're slipping off of the final hold. And I think the entertainment value, this format, whether it be racing or Midoriyama, demonstrates that ninja can be entertaining in any form because of how fun it is at its core.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on that, Billy.
Yeah.
I I like racing. I feel very strongly similarly to what everyone's saying here, and I really enjoy a solid race, especially when it's some of the best of the best. Like WNL's hosting all of their events this year in the same building. So head to head is going to be there while people are running the stages. I think that's great. It gives people the option to do both. And, when I'm not running the stages, I'm definitely going to walk over there and I'm going to go watch the elites race each other, because why wouldn't I? It's going to be probably very entertaining. Hopefully there's some good seating there. Seating's always kind of tough at that Coliseum. We all know that now.
Yep.
But like you guys are saying, I think there's definitely a place for it. I have a bit of a hard time, not as a guy who prefers the stages, because I think everyone here prefers the stages. I have a hard time as an endurance athlete, as someone who loves, my favorite obstacles are cliffhangers. I love stage 3. It's not even my strong suit, because I've had to turn speed into my strong suit to keep up with the rest of the sport. NSC, even, they just added a speed course on the first day this season. And so now there's 2 hybrids and 2 speeds, and there's only 1 burnout. So endurance, while it is at the very end of an NSC, it does kind of take a backseat, because you have to get there by being really fast and really technical and very efficient. And it's not that I have a problem with that. It's just that, like, it's not my favorite in the world to, like, I want to see who the most well-rounded ninja is. When someone's the world champion, I don't want it to be a race to the buzzer, a race to the touch point. I want to see who has the total package, personally. And I think right now, because of the push to the Olympics, like Billy said, they're really pushing racing, they're really pushing speed. OCR 100 is really blowing up, and that's all about optimization. And on one hand, it's really impressive and very cool. On the other hand, it's a standardized course, so it never changes, because you need to label world records. And I understand that, and I appreciate that. But it's the same course. And it's all about who can do that course in the shortest amount of time, who can basically make contact with the obstacles for the least amount of time in the case of OCR 100. And as someone who still, like, I'm still looking for my shot at stages, I would love to achieve total victory. WNL's catching some backlash because of the exclusivity, which we can talk about if you want, Daniel, but if not, it's up to you. But, like, I want to go to WNL because they have the stages. It's not 4 stages, but it's like one of the only multi-stage events in the US at this point. So I'm very torn. I'm very conflicted, because I love to see that the sport is going in a progressive direction. I also don't want it to be limited to speed.
Yeah. And I think the next couple of years are really going to kind of solidify some things in terms of the future of the sport. I like the common denominator when it comes to speed and tech, because to get the endurance that it takes to beat a stage 3 and to be that level of athlete, I mean, that literally takes years. It takes years for people to train to become that skilled, strong, and just capable. So I can see why there's more of a focus on, like, speed and tech, and why NSC would, instead of having 2 different types of burnouts, or more of an emphasis there, it's okay, let's widen or broaden kind of the speed and tech portion of it, because more people getting into ninja, more people stepping into the elite level can get there faster. You can get there quicker, and then take what would take years of grinding to build up your tendon strength and your endurance and overall power, whereas you can take months. You can take a good athlete and in a few months make them a great speed and give them all the technical skills needed to do well on, like, an NSC, or even like a stage 1, stage 2 type of formatting. So I can see that, and I can appreciate them trying to bring more people into the sport by making the initial intro into, like, the higher levels more about speed and tech. So I get that. I appreciate it. Will I stop training the endurance? No, because you see just my history on freaking Sasuke, the cliff dimension is just my arch nemesis right now. And it's okay. Last year shouldn't have happened the way that it did. I was, even in hindsight, looking back, I was like, man, I was injured most of last year and had to take like a 6-month hiatus off because of tendon injuries in both hands, then ended up breaking my hand as well later in the fall, month and a half or so before going to Sasuke. So I was like, okay, Daniel, take it all with a grain of salt. To make it back to Cliff Dimension on stage 3 and Sasuke was awesome and a feat in and of itself. Didn't go even as far as I have on that Cliff Dimension, but in hindsight, I'm like, okay, I can accept those results knowing what progressed or what happened before that. But now I know it needs to be done. And you better believe if I get the opportunity or the invitation back, my fingers are sore because of how much I'm training. And I'm very excited to, put them to the test.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I just want to ask real quick since we're on Cliff. Something that Josh mentioned in the last episode was like he wasn't sure why it was called the Cliff Dimension, and then he said like when you're on the moving ledges, you don't know what dimension you're in. Can you elaborate on that and give your perspective? Because like you've been there 4 times now, counting the World Cup. So yeah.
It is aptly named, perfectly named. In fact, when you're on the cliffhanger, one, their ledges are smaller and more rounded than in the US. So harder to hold on, just a harder obstacle by itself as a cliffhanger. Secondly, when you've got it large scale, I mean, they're full size obstacles, right? So when you're looking at it, it's this massive scaled thing in front of you. And when you're looking at what you're going to grab, but realizing peripherally, you have to kind of time when the next portion is going in and out or up and down first. And then the portion after that's going in and out simultaneously. And you're trying to, in addition to control your nerves, keep your heart rate down, keep the pump at bay, stay dry to the best of your abilities, stay calm, cool, and collected to the best of your abilities, to then have the added juggling ball of trying to keep timing in your head is so much harder. I mean, Josh put it so perfectly. Like you feel like you're in a different dimension, not knowing, or I guess keeping the timing in your head as you're going, and then just knowing, okay, I'm hopefully it's going to be where it needs to be when I go, because it was when I was thinking about it a minute ago. Hopefully getting the catch and then timing it as well when you're gone, because you're traversing these, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet before then having to build a swing and transfer. So it's really easy to have the timing in your head perfectly, but then have your own movements be a different timing, or have a different timing with your swing, how quickly you can get that first kickoff, and needing 1 or 2 swings before making the transfer. Like, it's so easy to change your timing that you had in your head in real time. And it's happened to me 4 times now. Well, twice. 2 times I got my hands on the last transfer, just wasn't strong enough. I realized that the extra muscle mass that I'm carrying was not conducive for the strength that my fingers and my tendons currently at that time were capable of holding. So it's hard. It's really hard, really difficult obstacle, but it's part of the challenge, right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah. Josh was also telling us that Sasuke has these subtle ways to make quote unquote easy challenges if you train them enough, and makes them a lot harder, like the cliffhanger, for example. He also mentioned in stage 2 on the salmon ladder with the rolling log, and on stage 1 with the tackle warped wall combo. Yeah, so like, especially on those obstacles, you have to make sure that like you're focused at all times and like really trying to get your bearings, which is a lot easier said than done. And it gives a whole new level of respect to anyone who can defeat these challenges.
Agreed. And people don't realize, like, when you're an athlete in another country like the US watching Sasuke, and you're like, wow, a lot of their obstacles stay the same every year with these subtle changes. That's not very difficult. And then you go there and you try it for the first time. I mean, my first time on Sasuke, when I did the tackle obstacle, you're pushing these huge sleds basically, and then you immediately climb up and go right into the warped wall. Sounds very simple. I mean, it's very straightforward. Like, it's not a very technical movement, but the amount of fatigue that my legs felt. I remember climbing up the tackle after I finished pushing it. I stood on top of it and both of my legs buckled. And I was like, I'm not gonna make it up this warped wall. Thankfully, I had enough time left on the clock that I could stand there on the warped wall and shake out my legs, smack them, dude. It was wild. Just the way that, like you said, and like Josh was saying, the subtlety that they make and design these courses to really be a lot harder than they look. And then stage 2, you're spinning down a log, which is a death grip by itself. You come off that thing and your head is still spinning, and you have to run to a salmon ladder and do these precise, large movements. And it's so much easier to make a mistake because you're disoriented, which is something we don't really experience much nowadays in America, at least, because we don't really have the rolling log either. So we don't have anything that disorients you and then puts you in a position where it's such an easy, it's so easy to make a mistake on the salmon ladder that they dial these things in really well in Sasuke, in terms of they want you to feel a certain way when you get to a certain obstacle, and they're going to make sure that that is the case no matter how strong, fast, or capable you are. Everybody feels the same, and it's very humbling, because some courses on Ninja, I mean, they can cater to better technique. Where it's like, okay, you've got great technique, you can get to the end of the course, hit the buzzer in like a qualifier, and feel good, not even super winded, but you are not going to finish any stage in Japan on Sasuke and not feel like you fought tooth and nail to get there, whether it's stage 1, 2, or 3, or 4, for those that you've seen get to there. They've got the most difficult stage 4 of any country I've ever seen, and you work for every buzzer on that show.
That's
crazy. I think to be fair to everyone here, Sasuke is difficult. Ninja in itself is a difficult sport to do, but I think putting the obstacles in perspective, in words like yours, and we talked to Josh yesterday, and you guys are about on the same wavelength of like seeing the obstacles, but just having them with their difficulty amplified to the max when they are combined with so many other obstacles within the stages. I think the layouts of the stages I appreciate more now, considering how expert ninjas like yourself have gone through and just adapted to it to get the best possible outcome. And even then, Cliff Dimension, very big props to you for getting to that second transition on all the tournaments that you've been on, bar the last one, and still making it to the Cliff Dimension is a hard task. It's definitely very well deserved for anyone who gets there. But I must ask, Daniel, so after the Cliff Dimension, stage 3 will not be done. Even with your hands not being at 100% within the past few months or maybe even years at this point, how would you feel if you had to go onto the vertical limit burst, the rotating ledges after the Cliff Dimension?
Man, my goal the last 2 years really has just been to get there and see what I'm made of. I've always liked the vertical limit obstacle, but it's so hard. It's so difficult. And being American sized, it's just, there's a lot more weight that we're carrying. To be the most efficient on a vertical limit, you do really truly want to be as light and lean and featherweight as possible, because of how difficult that obstacle is just on your fingertips alone. So it's you can power through some cliffhanger moves for sure, especially, I mean, you build your tendon strength up, you can have that strength weight ratio. But then to go underneath and in a pinching motion, like, in my opinion, kind of doubles the intensity and doubles the strength required to hold your body weight. And I mean, the Japanese, for the most part, are smaller, leaner, lighter people, and more dedicated athletes to those specific obstacles, because they know they're going to have them. Whereas US, you're like, oh, I don't know what obstacles we're going to get this season. Let's train all of it. You can train a little more specific when you know an idea of what you're going to see. Doesn't make the training any easier, right? Not at all. You still have to put in the work. But when it comes to the vertical limit burst, had I made the transfer and finished Cliff Dimension, my goal was to get halfway, which I think I would have been capable of, more so on adrenaline than anything else. But it's not. I've never touched it, and watching as many incredibly capable athletes touch it over the last few years, and just see how difficult it actually truly was to athletes of their caliber who train specifically on that obstacle or for that obstacle, really was an eye opener. I think that is the hardest obstacle on stage 3, and if you can get past it, I mean, you're more likely to beat the bar slider if you get there. But I think the vertical limit burst is by far. I mean, that is the true breaking point on Sasuke stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to give myself the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, maybe I think I could get like 2 transfers on it right now currently, but to finish it, that's gonna take some more hours put in.
Absolutely. Like, well said. Like, honestly, like I've said this when we were interviewing Josh. I think the vertical limit burst is the hardest obstacle a ninja show has ever seen. And when I first saw it be revealed when I was watching Sasuke 41, your reaction, Renee's reaction, everyone's reaction to seeing that obstacle in play really stood out to me. And I was like, what is this? This is insane. And it makes those attempts and later those clears by Ryosuke Miyaoka and Yusuke all the more sweeter. And I couldn't imagine just being in on set watching that. Like, that must have been such a good experience.
Yeah, especially when you see them clear it, you're like, these guys are absolute monsters to be able to do what they did. I mean, especially for me as a high level ninja athlete myself, to see where I stood, how I stack up against, and to see where they continued, and then went even further, I'm like, God, that's the level of dedication. And again, I'll give credit to just the Japanese people in terms of the passion and the dedication that they put towards the results that they want to see. Man, I'm like, okay, I need to take some lessons and bring them back to the US and implement them into my own training, and teach my students to have the same type of just unbridled, unwavering determination to see and achieve very specific results on certain types of obstacles. So, because there's not really, you don't see vertical limits, even just vertical limits, often in ninja competitions these days, because it's so hard. And it's so easy to get injured on from overtraining if you try to go from 0 to 100. But in Japan, where they've perfected, they put the time into it, they're able to train properly and just diligently. Man, they're seeing some great results. And I think over the next couple of years, that obstacle, VL burst, is going to become more and more clearable for at least the Japanese athletes, because they know what it takes, and they know, that it is doable. They've seen several make it in the past. So now I hope to, even though I'm American, put in the time, the effort, the work, and at least touch it. I want to at least touch it and say, yeah, I got
Yeah.
to VL burst.
Yeah.
Like, I did it.
Yeah. So Sasuke Daniel is going to be doing a lot of cliffhangers, a lot of vertical limits. What about Ninja Daniel? Because we got A&W. We've seen you do a couple of local competitions in your area and whatnot like that. Are the leagues something that you're looking to get more active in, or you think you're happy with the amount that you're doing? And do you have like a favorite league that you participate in?
Man, okay, a lot of stuff, a lot of info. I wouldn't say that I'm happy necessarily with where I'm at in terms of the all the different leagues outside of the show. I will say, with training currently, my goal for American Ninja or US Ninja is just to get on more obstacles. I mean, we're having obstacles that are trickier and almost more like a hit or miss, where it's like 1 out of every 3 times you'll get almost like what's the word? I had a word for it, but like just trick obstacles where it's like, yeah, you might get it, but you might not. Doesn't matter how strong you are. It's very easy to fail. And we're seeing more obstacles like that, which is fine and good. But I've noticed that I need to spend more time on obstacles. I do a lot of training at home now. 2 babies under 2 years old. I don't get out too much. But I'm starting to prioritize that more in terms of just realizing like, hey, if I'm going to continue competing in the States where every week there's a new obstacle designed somewhere, every comp there's a new, skill to be showcased. To stay current and to stay where I need to be, like it just requires more time on obstacles. So I'm realizing that and making the moves to do that. When it comes to leagues, I love them. I'm for them. I enjoy all of them, and all of them have different things that they provide, whether some more community based, others more skill based, others trying to be more of a professional type of league, and others more not recreational per se, but like just more introductory, just easy for anybody to get in and get involved. Maybe more options for age demographics or skills, things like that. Like there's all of them, right? I really enjoyed the oh gosh, FINA. I really enjoy FINA, like the speed and the endurance one. Like that's just a fun new league. Know the owners, love those guys and what they're trying to do with it. And just again, out of relationship, I love to see people with genuine, sincere hearts and love for the community of ninja and love for the culture of ninja uh, want to come alongside and grow the sport by offering new leagues and new things. So I love that. I love FINA. They're all good, right? I won't badmouth any of them really. Could all of them improve in certain ways? Yes. Could we learn from each other? Yes. Could we collaborate better and find ways to just play nice? Yes, we can. But for what it is in terms of my own participation in leagues, I'm at the age now, gosh, went from being the youngest on the show to now like a veteran at 32 and competing on more than 10 seasons now. I still feel young. I still feel like the day that I first stepped on a ninja course in terms of just strength, excitement, ability. I love the sport still, but where I'm at in life now, married with 2 kids, like my job, my career hinges on the television show of American Ninja War and other similar types of competitions across the globe. And so when it comes to how I want to plan my calendar, really the bottom line is like, do I want to spend my weekends paying for registration fees and traveling to competitions and events and hoping that I do well enough? Granted, I'm pretty decent at ninja still, but the competition's harder than it's ever been. Like there has never been a more competitive, I'll say even year than this year, 2026. I mean, you could name 20 top tier like ninjas that could win any given competition. So my thoughts now as a husband and a father is, okay, do I want to spend my weekends paying for the registration and the travel and the airfare or hotel or whatever goes into competitions and hoping that I do well enough to either move on for the regionals or sectionals or finals or whatever, and maybe making some money, winning or podiuming at least, or do I focus my attention on events, whether that's clinics or workshops at ninja gyms or speaking at school functions or fundraisers or assemblies or church visits or speaking or preaching or coaching, all these things. And I'm like, do I want to spend money or do I want to make money? And the reality is, for me, married with kids, my goal and my focus is to make as much of an income as possible, because as ninja athletes, professional ninja athletes, we're not signing multi-million-dollar contracts that take care of us and our families, unlike other professional sports that are televised and all that, which is still really funny to me how people stop me every day out in public and like, oh my God, you're the guy with the hair on the show. We love you. My kids love you. My grandmother loves you. Like, you're famous. Can we get a picture? Can you send a video to my kid? Like, and I love that. I love those interactions. I'm very much a people person. But when I tell them like, I didn't win the million twice. I came a few seconds away and didn't. And I did win season 12. It was 100,000, which was awesome. But even endorsements, I can't wear other brands because it's a reality television show. They license those rights. I can't get endorsements like that. I'm not signing contracts with Ninja that actually really benefit me in any way as an athlete. Like I'm a participant on a reality television show, and the disparity between top level ninja athletes and top level athletes in any other sport is greater than the general public realizes. So when it comes
Yes.
to making my schedule, I'm like, okay, anything I can do to make money, provide an income is where my focus is going to be. So that's been the 100%, like the main reason why I'm not in every single league at every single competition every single weekend, because you could. Like, there's enough competitions to go around where you can fill your calendar. And I don't fault any of the teens or younger kids for doing that. Like, it's fun. Like, if I could, I would. But I'm in a different phase of life, and I don't fault anyone. It's just you go with the flow. You do what you can, and you keep the checks and balances focused in front of you to know, like, hey, here's what it takes, here's what I need to do, and until I get the sponsors that can cover those fees, or I can cover the leagues, all the things, I need to figure out how to do this on my own. So several other ninjas are in a similar situation, I'm sure, especially the older ones. But that's where I'm at now. I do as much as I can when I can, but the focus is these babies now. My life isn't just about me anymore. It's about my
Yep.
wife and kids. And so Ninja's not put on the back burner, but it's just putting in a different place in the priorities of my life.
Yeah, there you go. I think that is one of the wisest outcomes for a person to have that is your age, and for someone in that context. I think it is just very smart to prioritize stuff and still be caught up in the league stuff, because again, it's not like you're just abandoning Ninja or putting it lower down within your life, because other things matter, not your entire life, particularly at the age that you're at right now. It can't be everything. And I think it's great to always be involved with it like you are. It's brilliant to see you still progress in Ninja Warrior, Sasuke, or just the leagues in general, the sport as a whole. And I think it definitely benefits from you as a role model for so many other athletes that will probably follow in a similar lifestyle as you if they decide to do ninja as much as they do currently.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity, and the sport is growing, and the platform is awesome. Again, like, to your point, like, just being a recognized like television personality. Granted, I'm not a celebrity by any stretch of the imagination, but to be well known, to be recognized, and have those opportunities to be a role model to these young people, and have a message too, to speak. As I do a lot of motivational speaking, so to be able to have a platform to say, hey, kids or adults, whoever my audience is, like, you will face obstacles in life. If you didn't realize that by now, you will. And I just want to let you know that if you watch Ninja Warrior, like, we face obstacles on a daily basis. And that includes physical, emotional, the mental, the fear, the anxiety, even the spiritual. It gives me a platform to get to do so much more than just be an athlete. Because if you put all your eggs in just that basket, if that basket ever gets taken away, like, you're left at an identity crisis. So my identity is not solely as a ninja athlete. I love ninja. It's a huge part of my life, but there's a lot more to me than just that. And so I try to make sure that I'm as balanced as I can be in terms of my time management and where I'm putting the different focuses of my life. So ninja, like you said, it's not taking a back seat per se. I'm just realistically putting it where it has to be in the order of priorities for my life, without loving it any less and without being any less passionate about it. It's just interesting to see how life grows, how life changes as we just stick with any one thing for more than a decade. You're going to see some changes naturally happen. And like I said, I think the best is still yet to come in terms of what is capable of happening, not only through Ninja, but my life and involvement in Ninja. So we'll see. Maybe I think I plan on going to more countries this year, invitations barring, hitting more buzzers this year, and continuing just to be an athlete to the best of my abilities. I love training, guys. It's therapeutic for me daily. Like,
Oh yeah.
one of the things that gets me out of bed each morning. And so I'm never going to stop doing that. So because of that, I'll never stop saying yes to invitations to compete at the highest level.
Very fair, man. Just out of curiosity, is Barbados going to be one of those countries?
Dude, it's been on my list for years. And I think the last 3 years, it only didn't happen because I had a paying event. And I was like, oh, do I make money
Very
or do I
fair.
spend money? And it
Yeah,
broke my
very fair.
heart because that literally has been the exact reason the last 3 years. But it's high on my list. I've already got it written down on my calendar. I'm like, okay, this is here. Let's try to make it happen. So we'll see. Especially now that you're out there, Kane. I got to come out and
Yeah,
visit you and
man.
represent.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be all over that event. I think they're putting me back on the mic, and then we got some buzzers on the horizon for sure. I definitely want to get some redemption from last year. But the takeaway that I have from this is like, you're a hustler, man. Like in every sense of the word. So I mean, you mentioned motivational speeches, preaching, you know, you have your family life, your ninja life, your church life, everything else. Give us like a brief summary of what a week typically looks like. Do you handle all of these bookings yourself? Do you have someone helping you with that? Like what does that look like?
Oh man. Okay, I'm about year 4, I think, of being completely independent. I spent several years, or many years actually, working with an agent, helping manage my calendar, manage negotiations, and then just decided after several years, or after a lot of years of that, just going all on my own and representing myself, owning all of my relationships with different organizations, making it more personalized, to being able to say yes to the things that I wanted to say yes to. And I'm not knocking having representation. In fact, I'd love to find a good fit now, but I manage it all currently. So my days are spent either on phone calls, planning out trips and events and engagements, trying to maximize whenever I do travel somewhere. So, for example, if a ninja gym hits me up and says, "Hey, we'd love to have you out and do like a workshop or a clinic over a weekend," I say, the answer is yes. Okay, now let's work out the details. But yes, I'm going to be there. Now, also, because I'll be in that area, so much of what I do is like is giving back, or trying to maximize the impact that I have. So let's try to get into some schools. Let's try to get into some churches, or do some outreach opportunities, or connect with other local businesses. And it's incredible just to see the community rally around, just putting me in front of people to speak my message, and to encourage, to inspire, to uplift others using the messages that I have. It's awesome. So I spend a lot of my days on the phone, or emailing, corresponding back and forth. Like I said, most of my training equipment is at home. So just in terms of conditioning and cardio and things like that, hangboarding, I do that at home. And then try to get to the on obstacles a couple times a week as well. And then trying to be a very present at home father and husband as well, to prioritize my family. And then spending time just investing in myself as a person. So whether that's different online courses, or coaching things that I'm learning myself, or just reading, writing, studying, time in prayer. Because as a Christian, I'm like, okay, my foundation is my spiritual life above all, because out of that comes with everything else, right? So I need to make sure that I'm full spiritually, so that I'm actually of benefit, naturally speaking, and not just on being a net, like just sucking life out of others around me. I'd rather be full so I can fill up others, right? So spending a lot of time reading, studying, writing. I've got more books on the way. I'm so excited to be a published author, which was not anything that I'd ever planned growing up. I've always loved writing, so still do it. But now I've had the opportunity to actually let my writings be of use and benefit and encouragement to others. So my days are spent mostly at home, with the errands, going back and forth, grocery shopping. Man, there's a lot that goes into just, again, husband and father, but trying to stay on the grind and trying to stay balanced, not burn. I could very easily fill every single minute of every single day with quote unquote good things, hustling, especially social media, planning out all the posts, editing all the posts, captioning all the posts, all of those things. But I'm learning balance. I'm learning to enjoy the time that I have. It is the most valuable thing that we have. The greatest currency we have is our time. So how we spend it matters. So I'm trying to find the balance of working hard, being a present father and husband, enjoying and prioritizing some downtime where I'm not just creating, but I'm also spending time consuming. My wife and I, we're huge anime nerds. We love to just sit and catch up on our favorite animes or just different movies and things. So I'm prioritizing, to the best of my knowledge and abilities, a balanced life, as opposed to grinding so hard that I get burnt out or get disillusioned and frustrated and is brokenhearted when it comes to not seeing the results of things. So all that to say, a week in the life is never the same. Sometimes I'll go for a week on end traveling. In a couple weeks, I'll be in Dubai for 7 days competing there, and it's just really exciting to be able to do the things that I love doing, to have the life that I live, and I don't take it for granted at all. And there is a lot of hard work that goes into it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I really wouldn't.
Out of curiosity, and no, this was not my only takeaway, but out of curiosity, what anime are you currently on?
Oh man, all of them. All of them. Let's see. One Piece, although I finally caught up, and so now I'm waiting with the hiatus until later this year when they come out with more. Let's see, they just started a whole bunch in the last couple of weeks, so catching up. Let's see, I think Fire Force season, I think 3 part 2 is out. Hell's Paradise, that's been a really, really wild new grungy shonen one. Let's see, what else? There's like a whole queue of anime, all basically anything shonen, any of like the action adventure ones. I'm watching like all of those. I love them. The mystery ones, some of the thriller ones I enjoy in terms of just like genre, because anime, you could say anime, but there's a million different genres, like subgenres within the anime world.
Mm-hmm.
I love the action ones. I love the adventure ones. I love the ones that make me want to get out and do something, to overcome new challenges and to get back up no matter how many times I'm knocked down. So like Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Punch Man, that one's just super entertaining, and it just those types of comedy ones. I watch a bunch, behind on a lot, but those are some of the ones that I'm currently either watching weekly or keeping up with or starting new. Like there's a whole bunch of anime out there.
Billy, you're an anime man yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting into it gradually a bit more. I mean, Isabel, my girlfriend, has gotten me into a couple more. We have like a backlog of just things to watch. It might not just be anime, it can be any movie, any show that we just want to catch through. We've watched a couple of romance ones within the past couple months. We're currently on season 3 of Oshinoko that started 2 weeks ago. I absolutely love that one. It's my favorite of all time. I love it. And I think after a few more seasons of just like more casual ones to kind of ease in to the many genres, I think some more action ones, like you said, more inspirational ones. Like I see Naruto and Dragon Ball, I'm like, I really want to watch those. So yeah, I think the backlog is definitely going to be filled up for the next few years there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, guys, we've reached our time, unfortunately. Daniel, thank you so much. And to circle back to your prior answer before we went on an anime tangent, I mean, I've been out in Barbados now for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and like you're saying, no week is ever the same as the other, and that's something that I have personally struggled with, like just adaptation, circumstances being different. For anyone that's known me for longer than a year, you would know that I had a very difficult time adjusting to plans not going according to plan. So, I very much took that answer as someone who's gone through what I'm currently starting, and I really appreciate that. I just want to say, I really appreciate all your time for this episode. Seriously.
Absolutely, Kane. My pleasure, guys. Like I said, I love ninja. I love all things ninja, and any opportunity I get to share my passion and experiences and just history of all of it, like it's an honor. It's a privilege. I don't take it lightly, and I'm excited to have been able to spend the time with you guys. And if you ever want to do it again in the future, hit me up. You guys got my contact. Let me know.
Of course, Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like, it actually really means a lot to each of us three. Like, you're a legend. You're a hero to many, and I love seeing everyone live up to what they say. They always say never meet your heroes, but I think we found a really good exception to that.
Absolutely. We really, really have. I think as Evan said, so many look up to you, and I think it's really, really going to be beneficial to the viewers and listeners of the podcast, whether you guys will be listening on YouTube or Spotify. I think just getting to know a bit more about the life of a high level ninja like Daniel is super beneficial and really gives you a bit more insight on how they really came to be and how they preserve their commitments and how they're able to just expand in whatever way they please within the ninja realm. So I really appreciate you being here today with us, Daniel.
Thanks so much, you guys. I'm grateful.
All right, guys. That was our episode 3 with Daniel Gill, the Kingdom Ninja. We'll be sure to drop his socials in the description so you guys can follow him on any platform that you guys want to follow him on. Be sure to tune in next week because we are going to have the one and only Makoto Nagano as our guest. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.